Beautiful house, huh?
Ja.
Lovely.
I walked into this room and was like, wow.
Look at this. Lighting in here. Thanks.
I don't, not me. That's the wrong girl.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome to the spooky part of the tour. The basement. We are surrounded by cobblestone, wood, and a secret door. We are then presented with this literature on John Adams.
Mira, no te despido.
As we then continue our tour, do we then turn right? Do we? Is it? It can't be! Underneath that jacket, it's light bulbs. Specifically smart bulbs. I'm into smart technology and I always look for them whenever I go to a sale. They are kind of expensive, but they also resell pretty well. Unfortunately, there wasn't in any of the boxes, and I couldn't find any of the bulbs themselves. Guess who's back? It's your guide. Let's continue. If you thought those light bulbs were scary, then you better be in for the shock of your life. It's hay. Yeah, physical hay. I was kinda like figuring that out, and then I realized that this is a farmhouse. So they must bring in animals throughout the winter to keep them warm, and that's what they feed them with. This extra room might be used for a child's sled, the Christmas tree, or other fun items. Ha ha ha! This is the last room on the tour. It is called the Dark Room because it is unlit and dark. Thank you for taking the tour through the spooky basement. I will be sure to catch you at the next spooky house.
As a reseller, I'm always going to tell you to be thorough in everything you look for. Remember those smart bulbs I was looking for before? If you take a look in the lamp below, both bulbs were in each of those lamps. I guess I must have missed it and I caught it while editing. Wasn't that house really cool? It was huge, like ginormous. This was really more of like a farmhouse, an old farmhouse that really held a large family. From the way the house was built, from the cobblestone that was used and the wood, this house wasn't really going anywhere. It was really cool to see. It was filled with absolutely an abundance amount of different things. I happened to get there on the very last day of the sale, so that meant they're wheeling and dealing and giving 50% off here and there. The very first room that we went into that long living room with that fireplace, that stone fireplace. Absolutely beautiful. The next room we went into was that large dining room with the large wagon wheel chandelier and all of the wood pillars holding up the ceiling. That thing was like not for show. That's like original to the house, which is incredible. What I did find in that room was a table of electronics. Now, what you didn't hear in the video was that there was a gentleman that walked up to us and stated, well, today's the last day of the sale. We're looking to clear out as much as possible. If you get a lot of things, combine them together, we'll give you a good price. No problem. This is going to be even better than a 50% off sale. So I knew I had to look for what I wanted to find because they were going to give me a good deal on everything that I picked up. On that table, that very first thing that I touched were those 2 video games. Now, this house didn't really give me the vibe that this was going to be a video game house, but hey, I found 2 of them. The first one being Crackdown 2 for Xbox 360. The nice thing about this is that the manual, the map, and the game were in there, and the game is actually nice and clean. When you go to these estate sales and you look at these games and DVDs and CDs, you always want to open it up, you want to check that it has the manual. You also want to check the disc, so go ahead and pop it out, take a look at the disc itself, make sure that it's all clean, and when you do sell it on eBay, you can call it complete. The reason it's called complete, it has the case, it has the disc, and it has the manual, and sometimes it has an added bonus, and Crackdown came with the map, and I happen to have it. It gives it a little bit of a better price point than rather than just selling the game or selling the disc or just selling the manual. So I not only got Crackdown 2, but I also got Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So this was a pre-owned title from GameStop. It looks like it was just the CD itself or just the disc. The nice thing was, the disc was pretty clean, but one thing I didn't realize at the sale, this is the second disc, disc 2, of a 2-disc set. Will I still sell this? Yes I will. People are still looking for that second disc. A lot of the time when they get 2-disc games, 1 or 2 of the discs are missing, or they might be scratched to the point that they can't play, and that's where I come in, because usually people don't want to separate those 2 discs in the sale. Are these games really worth it to sell on their own? Not so much. More than likely I will probably pair Crackdown with the system that I have for Xbox 360 with a couple other games to get that price point up. I'll hold it probably closer to Christmas time where people are looking for those consoles and games. And for Oblivion, I will go ahead and I will sell disc 2 on its own. I would try to get like $5 or $6 for it, plus the shipping that people will probably pay for. So, hey, easy pickup. Now granted, this was a group price, so I'm going to tell you the price at the end of the video. This wouldn't be a TRBCollectibles video without Tom talking about television remotes, or remotes in general. The nice thing about these remotes, 2 of them are Sony. Sonys always do pretty well. and I picked up a Panasonic TV remote. The only thing downside about this remote is that I did not come with the case for the back of the remote itself. You can test these to see if they do work. If you do have batteries, you put the batteries in, take your cell phone in a dark place, just hover your camera over the top part where the little bulbs are. That's where the receiver will emit a little light that your eye can't see, but your camera will detect. And that's how you can tell if your remote works and the buttons work, so you can test each individual button. So these remotes are pretty good. They each go for around $10. I'm happy to sit on them for a long time. As you know, remotes do sell. If you watched any of my previous videos, I will always sell remotes all day, and these were included in that bundle on that table. The other thing that I picked up, this is a heavy-duty, I believe, Wi-Fi router extender. This house, the way it was built, especially in the basement if you remember, it was all cobblestone. This basement was like fortified. Truly, it was a farm, and in the basement I really wasn't too sure what was really stored down there, if animals were brought in the winter to keep them safe and warm, because I did see hay in one of the rooms. But this was a router because I assumed that they couldn't get any kind of cellular signal, because I could not get a cellular signal in that basement. When I showed you those books, I couldn't really look up any of them because I had no service downstairs. The moment I went upstairs, service came right back. It was probably due to the walls and the insulation that kept that house nice and tight and nice and warm. But they did have a significant Wi-Fi extender. Now you're going to see that it has three extenders to get different ranges on where you might position them. I assume this was either placed upstairs to get service downstairs or downstairs to get service upstairs. It is an Asus, A-S-U-S, AC1900 dual band. This had comps ranging anywhere between $20 to $60. The only downside, it was very clean. I really thought it was used. It didn't have the power pack, unfortunately. So I'm going to try to see if I can get like $25, $30 for it plus shipping, and which power packs are easy to come by. You can get them for a couple dollars, and usually people will pick these up because they've had them before or they've broken. So I'm assuming that I could probably get a decent price for this Wi-Fi and router. And that's what I found on that table. I then continued out of that room and I continued my journey down and stairs. It was kind of creepy when I first went down there. It was a basement, you know. But then I started to realize how cool it actually was, the way it was built and how they used stone and concrete and really built out this basement for this home. You got a brief glimpse of it, but I found 2 camera lenses in the basement. I was surprised that they were passed over. Let me show them to you up close. So we had the Nikon DX AF-S Nikkor, N-I-K-K-O-R, 35mm 1.8G. I went ahead and I cleaned this up. If you are interested in how to clean a camera lens, I've recently created a TikTok account. Same name, TRBCollectibles, if you search me on there, on how I cleaned this camera lens. If you're interested on how to clean them for resale, I'll put the link to my TikTok in the description below. So be sure to follow me there as well for cleaning videos and other fun videos as well. But yeah, I went ahead and I cleaned up this lens that I found downstairs. And I also found this Sigma EX Sigma 10-20mm 1.4-5.6 DC HSM. The only thing that I noticed was that it appears that it used to have a lens cap on the outside and there are a couple scratches on the lens itself. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to price it the lowest that comps allow me to on eBay, in which it's almost close to $100 is the cheapest comp. And then the Nikon is in really nice condition. I researched photos, and this goes for a little bit over $100. I was really surprised that people had left them behind. So I went ahead and I picked them up. I put them in my basket thing that I had. But here's the kicker. I didn't know if they were worth it because I didn't have any cellular service in that basement. So based on what I've done in the past, based on the brand and how it looks and how many lenses I've searched on eBay in the past, and I've been searching for over 3 years now, I had, you know when you have that feeling and you just know an item is going to be worth it? Yeah, this is what I had with these. I brought them upstairs in that last room with that desk. I went ahead and I pulled out all my items. I double checked everything, and I found out that these lenses go for close to $100 a piece. I said, sweet, no problem. I put everything in my basket. My basket being this little cloth thing that I picked up at that sale. I put it down on the table in front of the gentleman who told me earlier that I could combine a whole bunch of items and they give me a good price. For the 2 lenses, the 2 games, the 3 remotes, and the Wi-Fi router, $15. That's it. $15 even. They said, yeah, sure, no problem. Thank you for taking it off our hands. So I walked away by paying $15 where I could make close to almost $200 on everything that I picked up in that short amount of time that you saw in that video. It was truly a great sale. I'm glad I picked up a whole bunch of items. I lucked out on day 3, and I got an even better deal than 50% off. So what could beat it, you know? Well, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to click that like button. If you had any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below. If you really enjoyed my video, be sure to click that subscribe button. And as always, my name is Tom, and this has been TRB Collectibles.